things in our heart. Luke chapter 2, verse 51. Yesterday we celebrated the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Today we are celebrating the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Why do we call Mary the Immaculate Heart? What is so special about the heart of Mary? Number one, humility. Number two, silence. Number three, righteousness. These three things characterize the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Humility. Mary was never proud. Mary acknowledged that she was just a handmaid of God. And when she gave birth to Jesus, she saw all the wonderful things associated with the birth of Jesus. She saw how the priests in the temple said something. Simon said something about Jesus. She heard Anna, the prophetess, say something about Jesus. She saw the wise men. She saw the three shepherds. She knew that there was something special about her son, Jesus Christ. But Mary remained humble. She did not assume any status higher than other human beings. She did not go about seeking praise and exaltation from her fellow women like the Pharisees who loved to be greeted obsequiously in the marketplaces. There are some women today who, when they realize who their son is, they become something else. But Mary kept a low profile because she had a humble heart. She was not a proud person. Secondly, silence. As we see in today's gospel passage, Mary treasured everything in her heart. She practiced the act of contemplative prayer, which some saints have described as the most perfect form of prayer. In contemplation, we do not use words, but simply center ourselves in the presence of God, pondering in our hearts what He says to us. Mary kept all these things in her heart. One can imagine the shock that she felt when she said to Jesus, "My son, don't you care that we have been looking for you all these days?" Only for Jesus to respond, "Do you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" And she looked at the temple and she said, "Oh, so this is your Father's house." Meaning that Jesus at that age already knew that Joseph was not his father. And Joseph was dead. He was quiet because he knew that Jesus was right. And Mary realized that she was talking with God, because only God could claim the temple as his Father's house. But Mary did not say anything about this to anyone. She kept everything in her heart. A silent heart. Thirdly, righteousness. This is another chief characteristic of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. In fact, the word immaculate means stainless. Mary's heart was stainless because she was pure in heart. And it was as a result of Mary's outstanding sinlessness that we refer to her heart as immaculate. It was this purity of heart that made God fall in love with her as to choose her to be his mother. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Matthew 5, verse 8. Only a heart so pure can contain God as Mary did. In order for us to grasp the beauty of Mary's immaculate heart, our first reading today presents us with an example of its very opposite. King Joash was the direct opposite of Mary. King Joash, he suffered defeats from the Syrian army in fulfillment of the prophecy of Zechariah. Rather than listen to the words of Zechariah and repent, King Joash ordered that he be stoned, not minding the fact that Zechariah's father, Jehoiada, had been kind to him. King Joash had a heart that was worldly, a heart that refused to pay attention to the things of God, unlike Mary. King Joash had a heart that was wicked, completely wicked, refusing to listen to words of advice, unlike Mary, whose heart was loving, pure, and gentle, holy. King Joash turned away from God, and his heart sought after other gods, the Asherim, and so on. But Mary centered her focus only on God. She sought God first. You see, my dear friends in Christ, as we reflect on Mary's immaculate heart, let us look at our own hearts. Is my heart like that of Mary or like that of King Joash? What efforts am I making to guard my heart from all defilements of evil? Is my heart clean enough to accommodate God? Am I willing to listen to the truth and change my ways? Or do I, like Joash, seek to silence those who tell me the truth? May God bless His words in our hearts. May Mary's immaculate heart